And
All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to introduce Lindsay Friedman. She's from carebloom.com and ltcarenav.com. Both are going to be fabulous resources for us going forward. So I'm really excited to have her here and have her share with us what she's doing and how we can utilize her as a resource. Okay, Lindsay, go ahead.
thank you. So I will start with Care Bloom because you'll probably have less questions about it. So Care Bloom is a caregiver support tool that helps families allow their loved ones to age in place longer, more safely. We are a monitoring device at heart, but we are discreet, no cameras, no listening devices. We use smartwatches and other sensors in the house. And I can tell you every bit of behavior that is happening in the house, how they're moving around the house, if they've taken their medications, what behaviors are changing, toileting, depression, all based off of movement. We have several patents based off of our precise indoor location and our tracking as it equates to behaviors and how that gets to outcomes. To the point where we are in IRB studies with the Cleveland Clinic, actually as a diagnostic tool for movement and behavior for NPH, which is a curable type of dementia. And so we are very precise. So we are not as broad. We're very much about very small behaviors and what that actually means, but we also have tons of customizable alerts. So any issue that you're having with your family member, we can really help you understand what those alerts are. So it's not just buzzing all the time. Is mom not meant to go into the basement? And she did. We can let you know that. And how do you redirect behaviors? So that is our one device, but that really keeps somebody in their home longer. And just knowing kind of what you do, really, you kind of come in a point of transition. It could be downsizing, it could come into moving into assisted living. So our other company, LT Care Nav, what we're doing with that is we help families create really robust long-term care plans as if they had sat down with multiple professionals, and we use AI to do this. We take their data, we help them understand what kind of care they're going to need, when care will start, how long it might go for, how much all of that's going to cost when you try to break it down to here's a period of time with home care, here's assisted living, you might have to transition to memory care, what that's going to cost. And then how are you going to pay for it? And who's going to help you in that trajectory? I think one of the tools and assessments we have that's really interesting for both people who do placement and real estate agents is we have a tipping calculator, because most people say, I'm going to stay in my home forever. I'm going to stay here. And it's really, in almost every case, I tell families it's the wrong decision. I get you love your bricks and sticks that you raised your family in, but what you love is your memories, and the family is no longer there. And now you're not safe, your loneliness, all of these things that happen. So how do we reasonably get families to understand what long-term care looks like and how they move through the process? And so we really started off as a family tool where we were helping them do these plans, understand it. And there was a natural fit to when our families were coming through it saying, well, who's going to help me do this? Are you going to help me do this? And I'm like, no, we're a digital platform. So we started bringing on providers to help our families. So as of today, we offer 16 verticals that we connect with families, real estate being one of them. We just did a national partnership with Care Patrol. Yeah, so Care Patrol is our national partner when it comes to placement. So anyone who's really looking to connect with families that are in this moving, like looking at long-term care, looking at moving, we're a really nice fit because we have Care Patrol nationally already on the platform, helping our families on that first step. But once they get them, every one of these families really is going to need a real estate agent to help them finalize that transition. So I'll stop there and take questions.
Well, so for us as professionals, and I looked over, both of your platforms, both websites, and I'm really looking forward to sharing this information the LT Care Nav. So could you take us from, like, if I send a family client of mine, go to this, or the adult child, whoever the project
Mhm.
manager is for that they're facing the challenge and they have to manage it. Well, so because I'm thinking the conversation will kind of go like this. Well, you can go to this website and check this out, see what you think. So that's a family facing
Yep.
endeavor. And if you could go into that a little bit, that would be great.
Yeah, so when a family comes to us, we have 14 different assessments. We really try to meet people where they're at because everyone has a different question. Can I afford this? What is my care going to look like? Am I actually going to need care? And we have an assessment really for anything along the continuum, including supporting the caregiver. So when a family comes, they pick the assessment that's best for them. Every assessment fills out a dashboard that kind of prompts them along to the next question. So, okay, I wasn't sure what kind of care was needed. Now I understand that. But next question after that is how much is it going to cost? So then we prompt them over to understanding the affordability. And then once we do the affordability, some of the things that come out of that are, do you need Medicaid? Are you a veteran? Do you qualify for the guide program? Or if you're early enough in the process, there's 23 different asset protection tools and financial tools that we offer. We don't sell them, but what we do is we help families understand how they fit into their process. So you can pick one of these tools and map it out and see which one's the best option for you. And then our next step is we can connect you with a provider. So really understanding that long term care is a really big process. It's like you need a lawyer, a financial planner, and all of these things, but understanding what's missing. So, one of our tools is about the legal docs. And if that's missing, right? What's your legal readiness score? And if you're not ready, we kind of explain to you, like, hey, if you don't do this, these are the things that are going to happen and they're not going to be fun. So we try to help walk through all of the scenarios of where you are personally. And that's kind of how a family comes to it is we really give these detailed assessments. And there's some front facing ones that you can just play with that you don't even have to log in. So our average time on site is over 20 minutes, which I don't know people understand that is like a huge amount of time because people are really trying to dive into their assessments. So that's the family facing end of it. We do have another piece of it where we actually have partnered with a lot of financial advisors, and they are using the tool as they can run we have an upgraded AI running, and there's a lot of different features and bells and whistles that you can actually run for your clients. So if you sell an annuity, you're able to map that out and show a family why an annuity or a whole life insurance policy or LTC insurance, what one will fit them best and actually allow them to have a visualization of why you want to do this compared to where you are today. Because sometimes it's hard to get a family to write a premium for long term care insurance because, well, what if I don't need it? All of these things that come into it. And this will really allow you to map out as a software why the product you're selling is truly valuable.
Do you have maybe with your screen share, do you have the website pulled up?
Oh, I don't, but I can do that. I can absolutely do that.
Because what you just mentioned was some of the thoughts that I had. I was like, okay, so this would be a really good tool for having conversations with our families, and then how they can go and utilize it, and then we can do the professional side as well, and
Yes.
that
And
would help us.
yeah, so I actually should have grabbed a login for a professional so I could have shown you one. But this is actually when I talk about the tools. So you're going to have to kind of imagine it on the back end when you fill out a client profile. We actually do the first round of assessment. So if you have a client that qualifies, here, I'll show you how we do this. These are buckets that are available for anyone to try. But if you on the internal client side, you're actually able to pull up all of these. And what we would do is we would just show you what tools are appropriate for your client, and we rank them inside your system, and then you're able to model it out. And this is much broader, but when we model it out, obviously for something like, I picked one that was really easy. So if you pull out a funeral trust, I don't know if people have seen it. I think this is a really great one for anyone who's close to Medicaid, because there's no 5-year look back and you just immediately can protect $15,000. But you're able to just pull it out and we model it with the family's actual scenario. So you're able to say, like, listen, you are in spend down mode. You are already here. You already know you're going to do this. You can either give this $15,000 to your spend down, or you can put it away and your family can have a really beautiful way to protect this extra cash. So we do that for each one of these tools. Internally, it's a lot more robust and you can kind of play and show a family how it fits into their needs. This is what an actual family gets because we don't give them as much details, but we really dive into what it's going to look like for each of these tools. The average family, we have found, cannot decide on their own. So we are really making some really great matches with the financial planners. But we actually, if you have a financial tool that's not listed here, so we were just asked recently, we're partnering with a tool called Chiefs. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. It's actually a really great tool. And we're building that into our platform so that people who sell Chiefs can actually have another way of marketing what they're selling.
What was that word again you said?
Chiefs.
Chiefs. What is that?
It is kind of an answer, sort of like a reverse mortgage, except they never take your house. And you can use the money for anything and at any point. You are able to come in and say, here's the value of my house. I need money today. It can be for care. You can
Is this
actually,
like an equity share type of thing? Is that what you're talking
yes,
about? Equity
yeah.
share. Okay. Yeah.
So we are working, like the funeral trust that I showed you. We actually worked with the company that owns the funeral trust and we built it in here for them. So if there's something that we're missing, we're always open to, if we feel it's a good fit. I've talked to some others that just I wouldn't recommend to my mom, so I'm not recommending it to the families. But we can bring some other stuff in here as well if there's something that's missing and people are like, this is what I sell. If it feels like we can do a sniff test on it and it looks great, we can also add that in there for people who are using the software to make sure they're selling the products that they want to sell.
Yeah, I was thinking, because I looked over these tiles previously as well, and they are pretty comprehensive so far, but they can evolve, of course, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you do have professionals behind each tile available, right?
Yep. We do.
Yeah.
So, and we are looking at bringing on other professionals behind the tiles. So it will kind of more be around Robin, but obviously we're newer and we're growing, but we definitely want to make sure families have options because one person isn't always the right fit for every family.
So if you wanted to be one of the people behind these tiles, how do you arrange to talk to you to see if that's a fit?
So you can actually just reach out to me and we do the background check. We check into everything that you're doing and we have a few conversations because when we tell people that our families that we're vetting the providers, we are truly vetting the providers, which means you'll probably also do a podcast with me. I'm trying to make my way through a lot of our providers because we want to be really transparent and let families know that we're picking people that we believe in.
So can we get your contact info or whatever in the chat?
Yes. Hold on. I'll have to scoot back here, but yes, I can do that. Got it.
So, Carol Sue, you had a question. Nut.
Hi. No, forgive me. I wasn't able to see the visual up until the time I came by and typed that. I've been listening now. So I may have missed something.
That's okay.
But when I saw under the life insurance strategies, I was shocked not to see life settlements.
We
And
do have a life settlement on there. We don't have
where
a
is that?
it is
Could you put that visual back up, please?
yeah, give me a second. Here we go. Yes, we do have that. There's not a provider on it yet. So, there you
Where
go.
is it? Under reverse mortgages.
It's
So do you
under
see that? Do you see
it's
that,
under,
Oh, I
Carol?
see it under
Yeah.
asset invest. I would strongly recommend you to, at the very least, refer to it under life insurance.
okay. No, I appreciate that.
And that's exactly what it's about. So if
No,
someone's
I appreciate
looking
that.
specifically at life insurance and they don't have other assets, they may never get down to the reverse mortgage option. And I am a specialist if you're looking for somebody.
I would love to have a conversation.
Sure, any afternoon, I'd be happy to talk to you in depth.
No, I would appreciate that. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
maybe on the LT CareNav website, there is a page, I looked at it, that professionals can go to. So maybe you could go to that and have a quick overview.
Yeah, so there's something that gives you all about the professional side. If you are interested in having a conversation, one, I shared my email here, but the other thing is the first step in actually, if you just want to even put in a provider application, so we can start doing a little deep dive on you even prior to our conversation, that's an option as well. There's no commitment with filling out the application.
Well, at the very least, and for now, I just want you to know that you do have somebody available to you for any questions, any insights, anything like that. You know, this is even before me getting more involved specifically with your organization. Know that you have a go-to person for anything related to the policy sellers. And that's what's different about me than most of the other people out there. Most of these people are somehow related to the investors, and that's who they ultimately, are looking out for. Whereas I'm looking for that policy owner that I can get the money from the investors. My fiduciary responsibility is to our clients, to your patients, to our seniors. That's where I roll, and never the twain shall meet.
I love that. Can you put your contact information in the chat for me, please?
Of course, of course.
Okay,
And there is
and
a
I will.
pretty significant landing page for professionals on your LT
Yeah.
CareNav.
Okay, let me see. Wait, you know what else I could do? Check this out. Ah,
Oh, there you are.
Well, Lindsay, are you limited to a particular state or anything? I'm sorry, I missed the very beginning of the presentation, so I apologize if you said that already.
No, we are actually a national presence. And our big limitation was going to be not having a provider in every state. And actually, with Care Patrol coming on, we've been able to open up nationally because they are covering the entire country for at least as a senior care advisor. So we have no limitation on state down.
Well,
Kim, did you have a question?
I said that was cool.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I didn't realize I was on not on mute. So
Well, I appreciate it because I got that great comment. So thank
yeah,
you. And actually I see that the Medicare, so we do have a couple Medicare people, but because it's by state, if it's something,
yeah,
we can chat through that.
okay, perfect.
And I know that email didn't come through,
Can you
but
give us the website again?
yeah, I'll put it in the chat. It's ltcarenav.com. A lot of people like to call it LTC Nav. So if you go to LTC Nav, it comes through to us as well. I bought all the I bought all the domains that went with it because I thought I came up with this great name, and it turns out everybody says it wrong. So I've heard it said so many different ways. So I own it. You'll find us in every different wrong way too. And then Carol, I'm grabbing your phone number. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Every time I hit enter, it's going up to you. That wasn't intended.
Well, I got all of it now.
I've got an anniversary this month, this summer, folks. 34 years doing nothing but this that most people don't know about. Keeps me challenged. So that's
Now,
like huge, 34 years, isn't it? I'm very proud of myself.
No, it's wonderful. And it's such an important thing. I wish more families knew that there were options, because when we talk to people, it's usually too late. And I love
Yeah,
that
me
there
too.
are financial products coming out that meet people in the too late stage.
That's why it's so important for us all to know each other and to have the information out there and available. And fortunately,
Absolutely.
a lot of organizations are popping up now, just geared at this, seeing the beauty of us sharing our information and making it available to everybody, because in that process, those same people may need to relocate.
Yeah.
You know, I may very well be dealing with somebody on the East Coast who wants to relocate to Silicon Valley. Hello, Julie. You know, that's exactly how this all works. So if we just need to keep on getting it out there and freely giving out our information and helping,
Yep.
it all comes back.
And that's actually what we want to help everyone with, is little nuggets, little secrets that help families. If you have one, if there's a service you're providing that I am not aware of, please share it with us, because I think there's so many great things that families are overlooking, and they're overwhelmed and they're tired and they're in bad situations. So little nuggets that you might have that we can integrate or that we can offer your services, that's what we want to do. We just want to serve our families the best we can. And we know there's a lot of great people out there who are trying to do the same thing.
You know, if I may, one consistent issue I've come across that other professionals are having when dealing with the senior population and their children is that, very much like my thing with life insurance, people aren't ready to talk about it, or they
Yep.
outright don't want to talk about it. So when you bring up home care or maybe redoing a home so that there's ramps and bigger doorways, the first thing you're hitting is resistance.
Yep.
We need to get past that. And what happens is when the resistance comes up, it's not the best time to plow forward. So what I have come to do, I make up stories when needed. And I say, look, let me just give you this information. I don't even want you to look at it now. I just want you to know it's here. Pack it up, put it away in a closet. And then when you need it, you don't have to start looking for it. And what happens, in my experience, they become more open to just, okay, I'll take it. She's not making me do anything now, you know? And then hopefully they'll get a little curious as they get to know us or hear more about it. They'll know that that information is available. They're going to go to your package and your connections first because they already know you and have come to trust you at least more than the guy on television. And that's how I do it with life settlements and viatical settlements. Just know that your policy is an asset, and at some time you might want to get cash from it. Here's my card, and it's pretty too, so you can like put it somewhere.
You think maybe we can get back to Lindsay again now?
Well, we were about everybody putting it out there in a non-threatening way. That's exactly what I was talking about. I just came around to life insurance is the same thing. I'm sorry, Skip.
Lindsay, how is your organization make money? I mean, how do you get paid along the way?
So we sell our software. So the providers who are using the software packages with multiple clients, that is a paid feature. That's one of our revenue streams. We are doing the family matching piece is $100 a month for providers. And it is one-on-one. So you own exclusivity in whatever you come in from your zip code. So people come in first, they're really taking those territories and they own them, because it really is important to us that we're not giving families like crazy amounts of options. They are not just leads. We are matching service. So when we introduce you to the family, we are making that same introduction to the family. And so it is a mutual introduction on there. That's our additional revenue stream. And we actually have started to become an EAP. So a lot of our families are now coming from employer assistance programs, which is great for us because we're helping support caregivers in the workforce at the same time. And now they're getting acquainted to the providers, but we also match with social services and nonprofits, and we offer our families thousands of dollars a year in discounts from other companies that are servicing the long-term care space or products. So CareBloom, we give a huge discount for CareBloom, but we also give options of other products that have given us discount codes to pass along to our families and to our EAP. So that's part of our appeal for families in a different way. So when people are like, oh, well, I could do lead generation through all of these places. We are adding, why are our families coming to us? Because we are adding value. We're not just selling their name. We're making a match and we're providing them not just the plan, but thousands of dollars in discounts to whatever it is for even products like incontinence products, DME, just for being on the platform.
How long have you been doing this?
So about a year now.
Okay.
So we did a really large launch in January, and we're growing by hundreds of families, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for anyone who knows digital online, getting families to convert.
Sure.
So we're growing really quickly, which is why we were able to secure a Care Patrol contract.
There you go. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, and real quickly, so it was Jessica Solomon that introduced us, and she's not here at the moment.
She'll be on
But-
later.
But combining and Jessica caught this, and this is why she did it, is because what we're doing and what Lindsay's doing, even just with the CareBloom, was all connected and all such a good resource for us to have. Some of us are CAPS people, aging in place and universal design and the things like that. So the digital monitoring for in-home digital monitoring is super important to have options for that.
And if you are doing that and you are in that space, we actually have reseller agreements that we can put in
That's
place.
nice.
Yeah. So, and we open those to anyone who's already serving the space. We still have the conversation just to make sure we're all aligned, but we do have reseller agreements. So people who are servicing that and they have clients, if you want, you can never send us anyone, but if you're interested, you can sign reseller agreements. And whenever you do, we can pass that along to you.
So, now talk about CareBloom and the product and the service. Is this for residential, or are you looking for hospitality type domains as well?
So we are in several assisted livings. It's been interesting because we have a care compliance piece, meaning we can actually make sure that the aides in assisted living are doing everything that they're supposed to be doing. And we have found most ALs have turned that on their head and they've used it to upcharge families. So that's sort of, which I guess they're paying for it. It gives families peace of mind to know that, yeah, the caregiver came in the room. We can see everyone's doing what they're supposed to do. But we are finding that they're using it to upcharge for states that have that kind of model in play for levels of care. So yes, we can do assisted livings or even apartments, but we really are finding our kind of niches in the home, and people who are trying to age in place are looking for solutions typically past the time somebody should age in place, right? That's kind of our sweet spot is really we're a heavier tech and then some products out there because we're diagnostic in behavior, so we can really understand a lot of stuff. But people who are really trying to stay in place longer, especially longer than they should, we're a really great solution.
So what I'm connecting, would that be complementary or advantageous for our CFEs? The small,
Yes.
small home? Yeah.
Yeah. We've done a lot too. Their other thing is, and this won't really apply as much, is we actually sell into home care. We're finding a lot of kind of more remote home care. They're just not able to get the caregivers. And then really, how do you stay in business if you can't charge hours? Or a lot of families can't private pay for 24 hours.
Right.
So we are seeing home care companies that are using us, putting us on a family where they're maybe only there 12, 14 hours a week, and they're monitoring the system for the family member. So if there is an emergency, if anything happens, they're able to run out there and service the emergency, but really they're able to watch 20, 30 patients at a time, clients at a time digitally, and they charge a small hourly fee. But yeah, some of those little small homes, it would be great when you are short staffed, because that is an issue that we're having. And I often say, like, when people are like, oh, the care in assisted living or in these homes are terrible. It's not that the care is terrible. Most of them are understaffed because we don't have the caregivers to staff it. And what's this going to look like as we move forward to make sure we're able to monitor and care for these people, knowing that we're hitting a time where understaffing is going to be an even larger issue?
Yeah, I can totally see that. Totally. So Clay, you had a point that you had written about in the chat.
Oh, no, just a common, well, not a common, but a comment was made that the reverse mortgage doesn't or takes your house, and I just wanted to correct that. It's a loan like anything else and has to be repaid if it was used. So I just have to, I can't stand by and say, oh, and let that go.
No, and I agree, but most people don't they're still very scary. I've seen some really great use cases for reverse mortgage.
Yeah.
And I think they got like a scary name in like the 80s and 90s,
And
right?
they didn't correct the name when the government got involved. It didn't help. So.
Right. I mean, it is one that people talk about, and I'm like, oh, that's why when I meant more so, like, most people say, oh, they're going to take your house. Like, no, it's still a loan if you still repay it. But I think where they get into it with the reverse mortgage is like, like they were giving it to people who shouldn't have had it. And that was when the houses were getting taken.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's where the issue of when they were taking your house, those people probably would have lost their house with any mortgage.
Yeah, you stop paying your taxes and insurance, it happens to anybody.
Yeah.
With any kind of mortgage.
There you go. Surprise.
So I am on the same, but I was just saying a lot of people get really freaked out about them, but I agree with you that there is a use case for every one of these tools. And when you put it in the appropriate hands, they work. That is the reason it's still around here. What is this, 50 years later, right? Because it obviously works for some.
So tell me a little bit about your marketing plan, your vision for marketing in LT CareNav going forward. So to support the notion, like your viewership, how you keep the data for that you could share with us. If I was a potential professional service provider.
So if you're talking about security, we're HIPAA compliant. We are following SOC 2 regulations. We're getting ready to do SOC 2 compliance. It's a big, long, terrible process, but we use all Google backend. So there's a lot of things in place already. We are leveraging the products that are already secure, that already give us the BAAs and all of that. When it comes to some of the marketing stuff, so I think the reason we've had really great growth is I run a 26,000 person caregiver group on Facebook of super engaged caregivers. Yeah. So I took it. A friend of mine actually started it years and years ago. And then she invited me to be an admin. And actually, when she started this so many years ago, she was like, I'm going to grow it to thousands. And I was like, sure, I'll help. Like thinking like, how do you plan on doing that? And I don't know how it happened. I wish I could tell you some like beautiful, magical thing we did. But it just grew. And so we have a really engaged group of family caregivers. We allow them to post anonymously and post to us. And we've been really good over the past 10 years responding to them.
Wow, that's amazing. And that's a really good database to start with.
It has been a fantastic database to start with. Yes, it's been our primary way of getting families without having to spend a lot of money, because as the admin, all the people who want to come in a caregiver group and can't post, I get to I have access, and we've been actually aggregating their emails for years.
So is that a private group? Is it just caregivers? I mean, everybody's a caregiver, basically. At some point, either you're the receiver or you're the giver. And there's professional and then there's family.
This is family. It's called Caregiver Support Global. My friend Whitney had started it years ago. So it is a private group, but you can join it. So it's like any other group. We do require you to fill out questions, including your email address. It is one you can pass on, but yeah, you're able to join the group.
What is it again?
Caregivers Support Global. And then my friend Whitney had started a nonprofit from her time, like after that. And so I sit on the board of her nonprofit. So it's actually really interesting. One Wednesday a month, we host something where we actually allow all the caregivers to come and talk to us. So those are interesting. We usually get through like 2 people because they have so many questions.
Wow, that's wonderful. All right. For those of us on Facebook. Okay, so that fed your beginning. So what's your outlook? What's your vision?
So my big vision, and we'll all see that most professionals are on the same page, is right now we're meeting people when they're already in crisis. The caregiver's already tired. They already don't know what to do with mom or dad or spouse. That is where we're meeting people today. What I hope in 5 years from now, and it's going to be a painful transition to get there, is that so many of us are going to have become family caregivers. We're going to realize how challenging the process is. And we're going to say, I don't want to do that to my family. And that is where we'll see change. So as much as we say there's 60 million caregivers, I think we need 120 to have a lot of pain to change the system. I look at it as, when we talk about college, like putting college funds away for our children, right? We do that now, but when I talk to like my grandparents or my parents about when they were going to college, their answer is like, what would I have needed a college fund for? It was like $15 a credit, right? It wasn't until it got painful and kids were pulling out student loans that we said, okay, how as parents can we help? And I think it's going to be that transition. When enough of us hurt from it, we're going to start to make the change of what planning looks like. And that's where I hope we can really step in and be because we're free for families, a free way for everybody to have access to plan.
Great analogy.
Thank you.
Yes.
I would agree with that. And 68% of Americans don't have a will or a trust. So nobody wants to think about aging and dying anyway. So that's already an uphill battle. Even if they know it's coming, they don't want to deal with it.
And that's the interesting one. You talk about will or trust and you're like, well, why don't you have one? I don't know. Well, I guarantee you one thing, and I hate to be morbid, you're going to die, right? We all are. And when we talk about, I don't want to get old, well, your alternative is not lovely.
Well, even if it's not an alternative, that's another reason to have it in place. But the thing is, nobody wants to, even like, I'm sure we've all, because we're in this field, like how many of our close friends who know better, how many of us don't have trusts in place yet? I'll get to it. I know. It's $2,000. It's $4,000. I don't want to spend it. But when you're on the other side of it, like you said, and now you're dealing with your parent shit, and you're like, why couldn't they just have this in order? then it becomes personally like, okay, I'm not gonna, And a story I always tell, because this was impactful for me, because I always think anecdotes are important. Years ago, like 30 years ago, I had a boyfriend whose dad had a crazy sister who was taking care of the mom, and she ended up selling the mom's home to her son for like $1, one of those stories. And he said, and out of this whole conversation, that one of the best gifts, and this is what I use a lot, one of the best gifts you can give your loved ones is to have your affairs in order when you pass. And he said, if anything happens to me, here's my attorney's card. He was 54, 56 years old. Do you know that like 2 months later, he got brain cancer, Memorial weekend, and he was dead by Labor Day? And that made such an impact on me. And I wasn't in this business. But I called my parents right then and said, "Do you guys have a trust?" So
And then unfortunately, it's the same way with long-term care insurance.
yeah,
Exactly the same.
exactly.
So when I talk about my caregiving journey, we all have our why, right? And I love to hear what made us before get into it. And my grandma took it upon herself to have long-term care insurance, and it was the greatest thing that she ever did. And it made it so my caregiving journey was so much less stressful than so many is. And I acknowledge that I had some complexities, but I was able to sleep at night because she thought of this so long ago. And I'm really proud of her. Now, do you think my mom did not do the caregiving, but do you think my parents did the same thing after watching it? Mm-mm.
No.
So, so their journey won't be as much fun.
Oh
So, and
gosh.
even talk, yeah, right. It really is. I think preparing and having those things in place really change the outcome for your family, even if you don't want to do it for yourself.
I use that for real estate because I say you have to have something in play. And I tell my personal story, like I'm sure you do, Lindsay. And I say that, like, from my knowledge, and of course, there's more we're learning here, there's three ways. Either you have long-term care insurance, which is not the same as what our parents had or grandparents, it was much better then, or you have a life insurance with one of those riders, or you just have the money. And one of the ways you can do that is buying an investment property. So that's kind of how you just have to have them, right? And then, I like the idea of a property because if you don't need it, then you get to at least you can get access to it. But either way, they get people thinking like, how am I going to put my nest egg aside? Just like with college.
Yep.
Well, both Bill Gates and Warren Buffett have long-term care insurance policies. Why in the world would they need it? But it's the idea of using other people's money. And if they're
Yep.
smart enough to do it, that should be something for us to learn.
Because why do you no, it's not fun to pay for care. It's not fun to pay for medical bills. It's not the things we want to pay for. And if we can afford it, and you can afford, especially the kind of insurance programs they're probably buying, they're doing like lump sum premiums, they're getting these great programs that are going to be less expensive than their care ever costs. But also when we talk about that kind of money, so I have a friend whose mother got a lot of money in a divorce. Like she should have been comfortable. Her children actually, I love them, but they literally were like, "We're not getting jobs."
Oh my.
So yeah, like they've lived a kind of life of we're going to rely on mom. Well, wouldn't you know it, like 50 some, mom had a stroke that
Mm,
left her as a 2-person assist.
mm,
No life insurance, nothing in place to cover this care. She is in her 80s now and
mm,
has gone her entire life with 2 round the clock caregivers at home
mm,
because it's mom's money.
mhm,
And mom has been funding this.
mhm.
And now in her 80s, she's almost out of money and they had to move her to assisted living. I mean, it's still a nicer, but it's still like, and
Mhm,
they are wondering day by day how long she can stay at her assisted living. Where's
mhm,
that if she has a longer expectancy, like what is that going to look like?
mhm.
So paying for care on your own, if you have the money, it's better not to if you have the option.
It's still a risk. It's still a
Yep.
risk.
Yeah, that I've had people go, "Oh, I'll self-insure." That you
Mhm.
know what that means, right?
Well,
There's no
they don't know
such
how
thing.
much it costs either.
Right. Yeah.
Well, this is
But
where, oh, I was just going to say, this is where education and planning and teaching people, educating people about planning, basically. we're trying to change the narrative on that, because we all are in the businesses where we do get engagement from people that are in crisis mode. And then we have conversations where people aren't in crisis mode, and we start to talk about what to expect, that these things can happen, and they just don't even. And
It won't happen to me.
Go ahead.
It won't happen to me.
Right.
Yep.
It won't happen to me. Won't happen to me. So we are trying to affect, a good amount of education in our business, and planning ahead. This is one of the reasons why we do this group, of course, and then we have all of our affiliates, because it is a team effort working with families. Oh, and then here's the other thing too. So we work with seniors, but we work with the whole family. It's multi-generational, because what affects them affects the adult children, affects the adult children of the adult children, and then their children.
Yep.
And then we are the real estate professional and other service providers that on every single level we have service.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big nut. And a lot of times I try to say, if we can, and like your platform now is going to be such a good resource that we can introduce first to the adult child who's the project manager of the whole whatever's going on with the whatever, right? And then we can use that as a resource, a stepping stone, options, a teaching tool, and then go from there, and that will be able to spread out amongst all the generations. And then hopefully, the grandchildren will gain the knowledge, and so by the time they get there, won't be such a surprise or such a challenge.
Yeah.
Does anybody have anything else they'd like to talk about? Ask Lindsay about?
No, you did a great presentation. It sounds like a really a great product for families and stuff like that to use. So yeah.
I appreciate it. And Anne Marie, that was on the website. I can give you the link
Oh.
that I shared.
I
It
see it.
wasn't.
LT Care Nav.
Yeah, but actually
Okay.
that financial one
Perfect.
is right there.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Of course, y'all know what I'm going to say.
Read the bulletin. God, I hate it when she does that.
I tried really hard not to, but I just couldn't. I just had to.
A train wreck of a bulletin.
And if anyone has any questions, please reach out, and I'm always here and happy to have conversations.
I have a quick one. This is Micklin.
Yeah.
And I joined your Facebook group. I think this is it. I saw several caregivers groups. Yours is Caregiver Support Global. Private
Yes.
with 26,000.
Yep, I see you.
Okay. I'm in.
Okay, here, watch this. I'm going to approve you. There you go. And actually, Lindsay, you joined too. So there you go.
Thank you, Lindsay.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Julie, for putting this together. You always do a great job. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And thanks to Jessica. So because Jessica is our colleague who introduced us, and so I was really happy about that.
Yeah, I love Jess. So thank you. Thank you everyone for allowing me to come and talk to you.
Thank you
And
so
again,
much.
yeah.
Everybody have a good week.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you,
And
Julie.
next
Bye.
week.
Yes.
Yeah, what do we have, Julie?
Oh, I'm having a brain fart.
Realist.
Oh,
Oh!
Micklin. Is she still
No,
here?
I'm
You're still there.
Yes, I am here.
You're up.
I saw your email that you sent out the other day, but as I told Skip, and Skip may not have remembered, I'm still a realist. I belong to the at large, but it's Dolores Johnson. She's going to be doing the presentation.
Yes, that's
That's
gonna
who I
be
got doing it. Yes.
Yes.
wonderful.
Good, good, good. Thank you, Skip. Looking forward to it.
Happy 4th, everybody.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank you.
Friday. Be well, stay
Bye-bye.
safe. Bye.
So yeah, next week we're having Dolores and Micklin are going to tell us about realtists and
Realist.
brokers, realtists.
It's actually realtist.
Yeah,
Realtist.
realtists. That's what I said. Brokers Association.
Nobody.
I know. I'm just really anxious to learn about that.
Okay. Oh, okay. You're going to have a week to do so. First question she's going to ask, how many people know what it is or who it is? Who it represents?
Well,
Most people
we're going to have to
Realtor?
Google it now.
79. So you'll be prepared to answer her.
Yeah.
Yes. It's been in business.
And just so you know, my next SRES class with CAR is coming up September 30th, October 1st, right on the border there. And I just set something up with SCORE that we're going to do a class with them on November 12th and 13th. And that may turn into a hybrid where we have both classroom and online, but I'll be teaching it online. So you might want to keep that in mind too. And don't forget, if you're already in SRES, you can take it for $99. And I think it's even cheaper than that for the SCORE, but don't quote me on it. And I've got a lot of new material in the class that I've been accumulating too.
I had something for Julie, and I guess
Yeah.
Skip, and that is for Walk for Alzheimer's and Walk for PD.
Uh-huh.
It was going to be, in fact, I went to the 4th of July celebration over at Cunningham. I've never seen so many people. But oh my God, we had to find an escape route. It was so many people. I think they should have organized it a little better for that many people. But at any rate, I think it's Mello who's going to be the captain for Alzheimer's. I think she is.
Oh, okay.
Nicole,
Uh-huh.
Mello.
Yeah, Nicole. Uh-huh.
I don't know. I get the two mixed up. One's going to be in October and one in August, and I don't know which one.
Right.
Do you know?
I don't know. I haven't looked yet.
Okay, I know she's the team captain.
Yeah.
I'm going to raise money to stamp out these diseases.
Yeah,
Please.
for also the Alzheimer's Association
Yes, yes,
and Parkinson's.
yes.
We need a fundraiser to stamp out stupidity.
That'll never end.
That's in the genes, I guess.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Micklin, I'm glad you went on Saturday because that was brave. I'm not going anywhere near that place with so many people.
When we got
Is
there,
is that where they had the drone?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was beautiful, but my niece got up and said, well, the kids are cold. We got to get to the bus and da 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 da. I said, well, you're leaving so early. They didn't start on time. It's supposed to start at 9:00. And so when I looked around, I saw so many people, and it was pitch black. People were having their flashlights on their phone and those neon things waving back and forth. I said, yes, I agree. We better leave. And we did. Because we saw what we did see was from the bus. Because it was packed. And for that many people, there was no like aisles or that were cordoned off with lights to say this is the path to get out to the bus or whatever. It was none of that.
Probably
Roni, how was it out there? How was 4th of July for you out there?
Well, we had a blackout. It was extremely hot. And well, for me, I was happy because it was extremely loud. The last time I remember it being that loud was 1986. And then sometimes around 8 or 9 o'clock, the heavens opened up and it killed everything. And so that was that. It just kept pouring for like about 2 hours and then the whole thing just died out. But it was a heavy afternoon. So that was that. But I stayed home. You know, the holidays,
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere. That's
Yeah.
not safe.
Good idea.
That was from most of us, I think. I'm just staying put. I don't want to be driving anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also with the World Cup in the city, it was also crazy. And then we had that young lady that had her wedding at Madison Square Garden. So New York was really,
That
I,
young lady.
yeah, well, I didn't get it. She inconvenienced so many people. She made a lot of enemies in New York. I hope she knows that.
Oh, wow.
They closed Lower Manhattan. She inconvenienced, I mean, Penn Station is like the heart of the city. That was not a very good experience for a lot of people. It really was not. I didn't get the idea behind it. Well, people wanted to
Midland, you know who he's talking about.
Yeah, my daughter lives in New York. I'm going to ask her because she works down in Lower Manhattan.
yeah,
And
and then if she
takes a,
had any plans on going in Midtown, I'm sure she
oh
had
no,
planned it.
no, she's not a fan, so she would not have done it anyway. She doesn't have a car, so she does subway everywhere she goes.
Oh, well, that's good. But even that, Penn Station was still affected.
Wow.
It was very much affected a lot. People who had plans to go into Manhattan had to change them.
The weather
But
was crazy though. I was supposed to go to a festival in New Jersey and they canceled it. It was in the Asbury Park, Jersey Shore. 100 it's supposed to be 103 degrees. So they decided like 2 days before to cancel it. And good thing they did because those storms came through. They were like hurricane winds.
Yeah,
Power was down. It would have been not only miserable but dangerous. So cray cray.
yeah, it was a tough day.
well, Roni was it on the third? She got married on the third, but the holiday, of course, was that following Saturday.
Yeah.
So was it bad on both those days?
Yeah, of course.
Well, it's
But
Oh,
also closed down for World Cup and it was closed down for the Knicks and it's been closed down.
yeah, I mean, you also have the World Cup ongoing, and the Brazilian fans got into a fight with the NYPD. The NYPD gave up because there was too many of them. It was a nightmare.
wow.
So that was that.
Of course, I hope
Well,
next year.
the US team did good, so even if they didn't win last night, they still did really well, I thought.
Oh,
So
they got far.
yes, they did. They got far.
They got far. They got far.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. Better luck next time.
Thanks, guys.
All right, everybody.
Thank you. Look forward to
So
next week.
next week, we'll see everybody next week. Have a great week.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
If not, we'll call you for bail.
We'll call you for bail. Love it.